What's up, everyone? I'm here with the chef and the owner of Ishilima, Wendell.
Yes, sir.
Wendell, what's up? And thank you for having us at your house, which is really cool.
Very
Instead
welcome.
of hanging out in the restaurant, we have the nice VIP setup.
Yes, sir.
So thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, no problem.
One of my questions was like, how did this come to be, this idea, and where did Ishi and Lima?
Well, Ishi basically represents my sons. Lima is more of the Peruvian concept. It's a Nikkei cuisine restaurant. And my wife would be awesome at telling you the Ishi story. But Ishilima is basically that. Ishi and Lima, just the fusion of the cuisine.
Nice. So all these ingredients and all these different kind of foods that you've made, is it all from the top of your head or just from the years of experience?
Yeah, it's basically years of experience. Everything boils down to this restaurant. Really, it's from the point that I started to childhood memories. The restaurant is very chef-driven. I don't like to put labels on it, so I can do anything from French to Thai, Japanese. So it's really like an open canvas for us.
Very cool. So what's one of your favorite dishes to make? Out of
the rolls, I would have to say the ishigoro or Julian's tiki roll, just because my son kind of collaborated with that roll, and everyone loves it. But the ishigoro also, it's you can't go wrong with the honey truffle and the maduro that's inside and the crispy shit.
Maduro.
Yeah, it's fire. It's fire.
And today, what are we having?
A little bit of everything. Ishigoro, we have a guava roll, tuna roll. I'm going to mix it up a little bit.
We're excited. Can't wait to taste it. Very nice.
All right, so let's get it started. Right?
Let's talk about sushi.
So this one here is going to be your guava roll. So what it has inside is the shrimp tempura, goat cheese,
Which one?
maduro, this last one.
Okay.
And then topped with a rosemary guava sauce, spicy mayo, and pumpkin seeds. This one in the middle is just a regular shrimp tempura roll, but it's topped with furikake, which is basically just a whole bunch of dried, could be dried fish, wasabi, sesame seeds. It's kind of like a mix, like a rice topping. And then this one here is the ishigoro roll that I was telling you about. That has the honey truffle, peanuts, spicy mayo, and then inside the maduro, kani, and shrimp tempura. And this one, on the edge, it's a shrimp tempura roll, but it's topped with serrano cream.
Mm.
Spicy.
It sounds spicy, yeah.
Ah, no,
It's not too bad.
nothing spicy. Nothing spicy to see here.
Yeah. So dig in, guys.
Wolf,
Get ready. Let's
Wolf.
do it. Pull one up.
come on in. You want to eat? Oh, you're making your own roll?
He's making hand rolls
Yeah,
over
yeah,
there.
I know. Yeah.
So just ignore the camera.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
We're just jumping everywhere. We haven't even introduced Mauricio yet, but
Sure.
We got to feed him.
Yo, we're
He hasn't eaten all day.
that's
No,
true.
I haven't.
He had a hard time with Ricky, so
I don't know about you, but I get hangry.
I'm good. What's that? Good?
Amazing.
beautiful.
That is
See,
nice.
here we go. Let me Caucasian it up over here. Oh God. See, this is terrible. Wait, let me use one of each.
Don't worry, man. Bring the plate to you. Whatever it is, guys.
I can't.
Be comfortable.
I can't destroy the ceremony here.
Ceremony.
We got forks.
I should have put in my, what's it called? I should have put on
so insulting.
Look, he
Got it.
spent so much time.
I've got it, guys.
Should have put on my kimono and never made you guys nervous.
Oh, man.
You actually do that?
I have a kimono, but
Yeah?
yeah.
You do it like you.
So
Wait till you see
This
these.
This is
Serrano
I'm really
one
excited
is
about this.
fire.
Look at these skills. Watch.
the Serrano's it's got a little kick to it, not too bad. Yeah, but do need music. Like,
Here we go.
background music.
We just started. We just started eating.
Oh, nah, dude, I loved it. I just let it happen. I'm like, it's awesome. But we can go ahead and start doing our thing now. We're here with Mauricio Gomez now, longtime training partner of mine, Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He's won a ton of medals in Jiu-Jitsu, taking over the pro MMA scene now. His choice was Ishilima Catering Company. As you can see, we've already dug in. Mauricio, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself? Tell us why you chose this spot.
Oh yeah, well, Wendell's my man. Sathya's amazing, and they also sponsor me. They've been helping me out, even though I've been a little inactive throughout this first half of the year. So I really appreciate it, and I'm grateful for everything they've done for me. And you know, we'll be fighting soon. But yeah, I'm a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu. I've been training for over 10 years, and I'm right now on that run to make it to the UFC.
All
Very
right,
nice.
so first things first, I know a lot about you, but what I don't know is what motivated you to get into all this. What kind of got your itch to start in Jiu-Jitsu and go on to MMA?
So like I found Jiu-Jitsu by accident. I used to train Kung Fu with this guy that his name is John Y, and he has a location in Plantation. He opened up American Top Team debut with Baga when Baga first opened up his first location. And I basically was training with him for about like a year and a half. I trained with him actually when I was 9 for like a year, and then I stopped training. My mom pulled me out. And I was doing a lot of Sanda, like Sancha, like Chinese kickboxing, and I was really like stoked about it. And then I started getting back into it, and I started doing like fight classes. The reason why I started was because I just got picked on a lot as a younger, chubby little kid, and I remember just like so many instances where like someone would it just made me feel like I was less than what I was, whether it was they would said something that I didn't agree with, something that about me, how I look, or if they put their hands on me. There's many instances where that happened, and at some point I put my foot down. I'm like, I need to change, and I don't want this anymore. So I decided to start training again. I trained with John for for that time, and they had no-gi classes, and they were training like 4 times a week there, and I did it. And at some point I was like, hey, I want to learn jiu-jitsu, I want to train, I want to put on a gi. And then he recommended Baga to me, and so I've been there ever since. And I'm really grateful for all the people I've met. I've met so many awesome people. I've met you. I've met Wendell. I've met like so many guys that have helped me on this journey. And this is such a unique experience. As a human being, to be able to feel like I'm being helped by like a village. And I'm on my way. And it's just a pretty unique and sick experience.
I'm not gonna.
So you said Sanda?
Yeah, I used to do Sanda.
How's that different from Sancha?
Yeah, that's the same thing.
Oh, it's the same thing?
Yeah. Basically, like you can't drop a knee at all. Like you can go for takedowns, you can sweep, and all those things. You can wrap around your legs, like not like how it is in Muay Thai where you could just sweep.
Yeah.
And there's no elbows in Sanchao. But yeah, it was that was like one of my favorite like as for striking, that was like my favorite sport like growing up.
Yeah.
And then I started getting introduced to Muay Thai, and that's pretty awesome too.
So I think most fighters have that backstory where they got in a lot of fights. Did you end up like sweeping the shit out of everybody at school?
No, I never fought anyone. I think I like I was gonna throw a kick at someone one time, and then he like backed off, and then there was one time this guy like really like grabbed me, and like I like there was just, like, I would say the one time like I retaliated and like I almost got into a fight. Like I smacked this kid and like his glasses shattered because like I just had it. Like his kid was younger than me too. I was really good. I was cool with his brother, his older brother. And me and his brother were in the same grade. And this kid like just grabbed me like you know like he thought he could just grab me and just do whatever he wanted. I just wasn't having it.
I felt that today.
No. Yeah.
I know how you feel.
He didn't break your glasses though.
No, I took them off.
I never.
Hey, Mauricio, was it your ultimate goal to be a competitor, or it was just to work out, be in shape, and just learn all this technique, or it just evolved into you wanting to become a champion?
Everything was pretty organic. So like I remember I was doing like jiu-jitsu for about like, I don't know, like 4 or 6 months. And then one of the coaches was like, hey, do you want to do a grappling tournament?
Thank you.
I guess to kind of like spark the interest in like competing.
Yeah.
And so I basically, like, I was like, all right.
I've got to learn.
I did it. I won my first tournament and I won like a samurai sword. And I remember after that I was like, bro, it was a naga and I wanted to keep doing it. I kept wanting to compete. So like the next like 6 or 7 tournaments, I just kept losing. To guys that were like training like actual, like they were training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu under Brazilians. You know, they were training with gi. I was only competing in no gi and I wanted more opportunities to win more gold medals. So like, that's when that spark kicked in. I'm like, I need to, like, this place is great. The people are awesome. And it's a great coaching staff. I feel like at home here, but like, I'm not like growing in that aspect. They don't have what I need. So, you know, like we parted ways on good terms, obviously, you know, because, you know, you got to do that. And that's when I just started getting hooked on jiu-jitsu, and I kept competing, and I kept, you know, that spark came from like that first tournament, that first win. Like I was like, oh, you can win prizes, and then soon it became like, oh, you can win like money. You can like, maybe this is like a future that you can do with this, you know. There's a lot of things a lot of avenues in martial arts.
I'm glad you brought that up because I had a follow-up question was, so now when you compete in jiu-jitsu in tournaments, how's the prize money in comparison to your professional MMA fights? Where do you, I guess, cash in the most? Or depending on what organization?
Always with the money question.
So like, I remember last year I main evented for this promotion that I've competed with like about like 5 or 6 times called Fight to Win. And before COVID, like the payout was great. Like they had like a set payout depending on what level you are, you know, and they would also, on top of that, they would pay you based on like ticket sales. You know, like you would get commission, you know? So I would make a killing, especially because if it was down here, you know, all the students would come and people would buy tables and stuff, and it was great. And then they switched to just commission. And I remember last year in January 14th to be exact, I remember I main evented, I won a decision and against like that was like the biggest win in my career. And then the guy only pays me on commission, and I was like, this is the best like match I've ever had, and like this is how much I'm getting paid. It's not really matching with what I wanted to do. So there was a time where I was like, man, I might have to just focus on just fighting, you know. And not too long after, actually no, the year before, I remember I had a big fight too, and that's when I decided I was going to focus more on fighting. But last year it was okay, but I remember I went to Texas. I did the Eddie Bravo Combat Jiu-Jitsu tournament, and I remember I made like 5K, like because it's the way they have that tournament built is like if you submit your opponent within the regulation time under the 10 minutes, they give you like
a bonus.
Yeah, it was a 16-man bracket. It was so if you win a match, if you submit the guy, it's like 1K. So I submitted everyone under like 5 minutes, and then but it's like combat jiu-jitsu. You familiar with that?
Yeah, that's where you
with the open palm shot. Yeah. So like with the MMA training I've been doing mixed with like my jiu-jitsu, like it was perfect. Like my jiu-jitsu is really good. It's good enough to understand like when I'm in danger, and also when I can also like throw strikes, because I've been training with like a lot of like great coaches like King Mo, Steve Bruno, Mike Brown. I've trained a little bit with Pitbull too. All really good coaches. Simako, like a lot of really great coaches there. And yeah, like I remember I won 4 matches, so it was 4K. And then I remember like on the post-fight interview, I was like, I want my bonus because they had this thing where they were like, if you wear our rash guard at the event and you really impress us, we're gonna give you a bonus, another 1K. So like I remember like when they raised my hand, I'm like, I want my 1K, my extra 1K. So I came out with like
Nice.
with a good. That was like the best payout I've gotten from fighting. I was like, I need that. I need that next time. And that was just a qualifier. That wasn't even like the actual like the world championship one.
Damn, that's pretty cool. When you're striking opponents, is there any way that you cannot strike from 12 to 6, or you can strike either with the palm, with open
With
palm?
combat jiu-jitsu is from anywhere because it's not an elbow. Elbow's a little different.
You can't backhand somebody, right?
No, they let you. Yeah, you can.
No Stockton slap.
But isn't that like a bitch?
Yeah, no.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know what other.
To smack them?
Because
Like
this can only do so much.
Yeah, it's a little disrespectful, right?
Right?
Yeah.
It's a disrespect. Yeah, I mean.
Like, but wouldn't that be like considered bitch? No.
No, I mean it's just.
I don't know.
A lot of the guys there, like they don't really train that much like striking, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So like, I have an understanding. I started doing like MMA as a brown belt, and I think that was 2018. I was like 20. That was my first fight. I had like 2 fights that year, and one in Miami, one in Pittsburgh, and I just kept doing it, you know. And then
He's shaming me over here.
I think, what was it, 2021, I started going pro. Yeah, I started going pro,
Yeah.
2021. So, like, that was pretty much, like, the beginning of me, like, actually, like, putting all of those things together really well. Because as an amateur, I didn't really know how to, like,
What to do?
I put everything together really well.
Yeah.
Even though I was a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. But, like, with the black belt in jiu-jitsu and also, like, and it's not just regular jiu-jitsu, it's like, you know, world-class jiu-jitsu. With like world-class trainers, it's like really dangerous. There's a lot of really good like jiu-jitsu fighters that are really good MMA like fighters and champions that are at American top team.
Well, let me step back from Ricky's question a little bit. I think we already got the answer to it, but like you've seen the way jiu-jitsu's grown too. We used to only have, like you said, like Naga, Grappler's Quest, and then IBJJF was like the holy grail.
It's filling.
Now you've got the Fight to Wins, the
What you were
Eddie
saying,
Bravo
all that
stuff. You've competed in all of them. So, like, what's been your favorite rule set? I'm guessing it was the combat, but
Jiu-jitsu is a lot easier when you can hit people.
yeah.
It definitely, especially the guys that don't train the striking as much as I do, or the ground and pound. You know, like I even drill like ground and pound like on like a bag. You know.
Yeah.
And if you're not doing that and you're doing like combat jiu-jitsu, you're just a jiu-jitsu guy just trying to do it. It's different, you know.
Big
You don't know
time.
exactly how to hit the guy.
You feel like you've rocked any guys?
No, yeah, 100%. Yeah. What was it? My second match, the guy you got to look at it. It's on Fight Pass.
Yeah.
Combat jiu-jitsu USA qualifier. You look it up. That guy like got it bad. He got it the worst out of all of them. But
Let me tell you, that is a spicy sauce.
That wasn't even the spicy one.
That was just spicy.
What's that one called again? This is my favorite one.
That's the
That's the
Ishigoro.
Ishigoro.
Yeah.
That's the honey truffle.
Julian's got good taste.
It does. It does.
They're all really good.
Yeah.
Hello, puppy.
Mauricio, want me to serve you some more?
Sure. All right. I really love you.
And these are the...
The canchita, yeah.
Oh, I love these.
It's a little
So that's
addictive
like
there.
a
Yeah, it is.
traditional canchita, right? Like they serve in a lot of Peruvian restaurants. But what we add to it is citrus togarashi. So togarashi is basically like it could be 9 or 18 different Japanese peppers, all grounded up, dehydrated, and then we just add some citrus, some salt.
And so everything's so good. It's like a good fusion.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
This is going to be a silly question. Do you guys cater?
Yes, we do. We cater.
Yes.
We do sushi classes, sake classes, wine tasting classes. So, yeah, we're pretty busy.
What's a sake class?
Usually the sake class is paired with the sushi, and we learn about everything about sake, rice, water, areas that it can come from, different styles of sake,
How it's made.
how it's made, yeah.
What will give you the quickest buzz, sake or wine? It's a good question.
That was a good question.
It is.
The worst hangover.
Worst hangover, probably wine, because wine has a lot of sugar.
Yeah.
So it's the sugar and the alcohol giving you that headache and feeling of dehydration. Because sake is the cleanest form of alcohol that you can possibly. If you are in a diet or anything, the cleanest form is sake.
You drink wine or sake?
I haven't had sake since I was in Vegas, like last April.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, I actually do like sake.
Yeah.
I don't have a specific. Like she would have to teach me, what different types there are, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure there's not just one form, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Cynthia is basically an advanced sommelier. Right?
So like a brown belt in the jiu-jitsu.
So something brown
I'm
belt.
not quite black belt, but I'm there.
So as far as sake, there's also different levels, right?
Different levels of sake.
Yeah.
You can be a sake master, as well. So right now I'm just level 1, and I just finished taking level 3. I don't know if I've passed yet, so I find out like in 6 weeks if I passed. And that's the 3rd level. And then after that, you can be like a sake. Sometimes they call them sake samurai masters and stuff like that.
That's
Yeah.
a good name.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. So there's kind of few out there and stuff like that, but I really enjoy it, especially since he started doing the sushi. I got really, really into it. I think it's like, it's so clean. It's just water and rice, and you're combining these two things to make something like amazing, and then it pairs really well with the sushi.
Dude, so you guys can edit out. So before, like
I love it.
sake,
Yeah, it's great.
like a lot of people,
Ginger.
a lot of people drink the sake. They warm up the sake, right? And I thought that was like the only way you drink sake, by heating it up. But then also I kind of put it together with when we're cooking. Like when I cook and I deglaze or I cook with wine, like if the heat is high enough, at a certain point the alcohol burns out. You know. So if you're heating up sake, let's say they overdo the heating of it, then you're burning the alcohol and
Yeah.
you kill the sake.
Yeah,
By
kind
the time it
of
gets
defeats
to
the
the table.
purpose.
Yeah.
So, just something to think about, because I had no clue about that.
Yeah, you don't want boiling hot sake at the table. It's okay to drink warm sake. They used to do that to heat up your ears and stuff. The samurai soldiers and stuff would heat up the sake so that you can warm yourself. Your what's it called? Your digits.
Yeah.
There's something. There's a name for that.
Extremities.
The extremities. Yeah,
Yeah.
they would heat up the sake. That's traditionally what they used to do. You know, but some people like Americans are like, I want it hotter, like soup, you know. I'm like, but you're gonna order like 5 of them in order for you to get tipsy because there's no alcohol in it. You're defeating the purpose, you know. It's not like soup. It's just warm, just to heat you up.
Yeah.
You know? The ears and fingers and stuff. So
How's the sushi?
good.
It was excellent.
I love it. This is so good.
Ricky ate spice and didn't die,
I know.
so
You want
we're
more?
gonna have to step it up
Listen,
next time.
I kept it together because the second I ate it, I started sweating in my head, and I should stay quiet. I didn't want to take the attention from him. Do you want when you started your BJJ career? How soon or like what's like a regular timeline for like a beginner, an average beginner to get from
Oh, he's
your
the
white-
worst one to ask, man. He zoomed through it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. A year. I got my black belt, but
Nah, what was it, like
Before, like,
5 or 6
blue-
for you?
yeah. How long did it take you between each color?
It varies, you know. Usually on average it takes like 2 years to get like your blue belt, and I would say like I trained like 1.5 years with my one coach back or the coaches at the Kung Fu place, I was training just no-gi, and then when I jumped to Bagas, I trained with him for 4 months, and he promoted me. But I was competing a lot, you know. I was giving them a reason, like.
So they know, like, when you're ready. Like, this guy's wasting his time with this belt. Let's go on to the next one.
I came in with some experience, you know. So I would say it was around that time. Anywhere from like 6 months to a year. It really depends on if you have like some people that wrestle, you know, they have that high school or college wrestling background. They get promoted fairly quick, maybe 6 months to a year. You just gotta get used to the, you know, just all the habits. You gotta get used to all, like, you know, keeping your posture, making sure your hands are your elbows are you're tucked into your ribs. That way you don't overextend.
When you say it now, I'm like, all that went out the window today.
Oh, 100%.
God.
I should have told you before.
See, and I was telling him I was trying to remember everything or anything. After like 10 seconds, I was just trying to survive. And it was embarrassing.
Thank you.
And then once you get the black belt, is there another like triple black belt with gold ring? I don't know. Is there any like platinum or anything after the black belt, or can you, in order for you to be a teacher or anything like that, do you have to go through more series of training?
Yeah, every academy does it a little different. I mean, the most traditional way you get like your stripes, your degrees is, you know, by time, and usually you earn it by, you know, teaching. So, you know, like you don't have to prove like, oh, like I'm a black belt by the time, and so like you can get more stripes. It should be through teaching, you know. So I would say like for the first 3 stripes, it takes 3 years in between each stripe. So like to be a 3rd degree, you need to have 9 years as a black belt teaching.
3rd degree, right. So 3rd degree is 9 years of teaching.
Yeah, so my teacher's a 5th degree, so for those next 2, it's like 5 years each. So
15,
not
yeah.
like 24 years as a black belt.
That's crazy.
That's my
You do
teacher.
Red, right?
Huh?
Red is after 7 degrees?
Red is the 9th one. Yeah.
So
That's
nine
it.
times
Is that the last one? Is that the last one?
I believe it's like
You got the
36
coral
years
belt.
as a black
Is that really?
belt till you can be
Who has it?
the
A lot of really
highest
old
belt.
dudes.
highest belt.
They can't even train anymore. Is that
We've had a few. Mauricio, you took seminars under some of the coral belts, right?
Yeah, one of the black belts at the gym, his dad's like a red belt. Like he learned under like Helio Gracie,
Jeez.
and yeah. So and he's done like seminars before, and he goes over a lot of like self-defense, like, hey, like I know you guys do like, you know, you in the America and the States you do a lot of like sport Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu because that's what, you know, is most popular. That's become the most mainstream source of, and is visually pleasing. You know, people are excited for that. But this is what I learned as like a child, because he started training with the Gracies when he was 9. Alvaro Bajeto, and he basically said like, okay, I'm gonna show you guys like what the essence of jiu-jitsu is. It's self-defense. These are the fundamental principles, you know, that you have to when you are starting. And he shared it with us, and you know, for me as a martial artist, like that was was very special for me, because this is why I trained. I wanted to learn how to protect myself first. So I do have like a very deep appreciation for like all the different aspects of it, besides just a sport, you know, because you can only do a sport for so long. At some point, you gotta, you know, give back and share, and that's what I've been doing. I've been a black belt for about like 4 years, and you know, I really enjoy like teaching and sharing what I have.
So we spoke about Vegas for like 5 seconds, but you have a very viral moment that happened in Vegas where you slammed a dude buggy choking you.
Oh God, did you do any jail time for that?
No jail time.
Was that is that something you like kind of picked up from MMA too, like just getting out of stuff from slamming, or?
No, but like I've seen like people slam people from that position. I think mine was just like the most like viral because like it did the most damage. But I remember that day I was like kind of going through my phone in between matches, and like I saw someone on Flow Grappling get slammed, and it's still posted there somewhere, like someone getting slammed, and then the guy like taps the guy in the back, and then there's this one other dude. His name's Ty Freeman.
Yeah.
I think he's like a checkmat dude, black belt, but he's like a heavy dude, and he buggy choke slammed another dude, and like I think the match kept going, but he tapped out. But like mine was more so like I think.
Yeah, you killed him.
I kind of.
Did you say
I don't like saying like I intentionally spiked him, but yeah, I spiked him, you know, and
Did he wake up?
Yeah, I spoke to him the next day. He was fine. He had a little brace. He sprained his neck. He was a little concussed, but he's all right.
I thought that was gonna be your moment, though, dude. I'm like, oh, Mauricio's everywhere right now.
No, they put it back on Flow Grappling, but then they took it down shortly after because it was really violent.
Yeah.
You know.
Forget Flow though. Like, dude, it was on everyone's Instagram. Yeah. Like anyone was reposting that. It was like, see, this is why we don't buggy choke, and it's like, fair enough.
Well, I mean, like I've seen it. People get slammed on it, like in Bellator, and the guy will get slammed and he get a little concussed, and then the other guy finishes him with punches. But like, I've also seen like in I think it's ACB, it's like a Russian promotion. Like a guy hit a buggy choke. It was in Russia. A guy hit a buggy choke and it tapped the dude out. I mean, so like it works, and it also like you know it's you just gotta weigh out like what it is.
If you get a guy tired, you'd probably be all right with it, but if you got enough strength left to slam, you're kind of in trouble. So you just did come out of spending a couple weeks in Peru and being Peruvian. We spoke about this a little bit. You have tried ayahuasca before, right?
Yes.
What is that?
DMT.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is actually like something that a lot of members of my family do. This wasn't a tradition that really started it wasn't until I would say like 10 years ago. I would say one of my uncles did it, and then some of my other family members did it, and my mom's did it, and she encouraged me to do it. I did it when I was 19, but it's like one of those things that like it's gotta call you to go back to do it, and it's like a part of like I would say like a spiritual journey, like there are a lot of things that I saw, that I felt like that benefited me, and I would say like one of the biggest takeaways from it was like, like anything that's like an outside force, don't let it disrupt your like inner peace. And I actually did took away, that was like my biggest takeaway from it at that, during that time. And I actually like carry that with me like to this day. And a lot of people like really, they shouldn't take it if they're not in a good headspace.
Yeah, mess you up.
For this type of thing. And, I've talked to so many people about it and like with their experiences, and I've been told before like, hey, like, I've gone to, decades I've gone to therapy, but like this one session did a lot more for me than what decades of therapy have done.
Right.
So like it's a can of worms, and you gotta like be ready for stuff like that. So actually, like with my family, we actually take it very serious. Some people do it like in the States. I like to do it when I go there, and under like a specific person, that's like. This guy I go to, he says he doesn't like being called a shaman. He likes being called a healer.
I was about to say he's called a shaman, but yeah.
He doesn't like being called that. He likes being called a healer. And the dude's like a really great person, and he gave me a lot of good advice, But all in all, like if you feel like you have like something you have to deal with, unless you're not in a good headspace, I don't recommend doing it.
You feel like. Because you did that kind of early, man. Like at 19, I feel like you don't even have enough tension and anger and hate and confusion in your body to fully like, I mean, you kind of, it sounds like you had that, what is it, like the ego death experience. So you come in, you're not letting your ego get the best of you anymore. Do you feel like you want to go back now and do it again now that you're a little older? And
so like as like a kid, like I had like a lot of anxiety.
Yeah.
Like I've had like everyone has like their past and stuff, and they've dealt with things like as children. I've had my own like little things, but I think I've had a pretty good life, and my parents have provided for me with what they could.
Yeah.
And I think that's great, and I could never thank them enough for everything they've given me. So like. I honestly don't feel like at least at this moment that I need to go, but if it calls me, I'll go. But
nice.
At the same time, like you have to like see like if this is really calling you, because it's a very strict thing. Like you can't be taking any spices or salt. You have to eat vegan when you're doing this. You have to eat super clean, no sex, like none of those things. Like for 2 weeks before and 2 weeks after. or else it messes the whole thing up.
Yeah.
When I did it, I remember I kind of played with it too much, and I had like a brownie, just regular brownie, and I remember like it messed my whole system up. And I remember I hiked Machu Picchu up and down. It took like 4 hours, so 2 hours up, 2 hours down. And I remember coming back down with my immune system already affected. I got like altitude sickness, so that was like the closest I got to like a near-death experience. So I think that like if you do it, you can't mess with it, because this is like something that will completely take you out of your comfort zone. Like you're gonna be completely out of control for a lot of things, and you got to be ready for that.
Yeah,
You know?
I think that's the difference between like a healer, like telling you all that, and then a shaman just not knowing any of this
Or
stuff.
just
Well,
smoking
yeah,
with
like-
Joe Rogan.
There's a lot of people there's a lot of people that they go like in the rainforest and they have a bunch of shamans and a bunch of people. But this guy I went to he went to school to be like a psychologist, and he does it with his wife. They feed you, they take you into their home. They have this whole like little retreat, and he helps you interpret what you see, and like it's very personal. You know, he meets with you, and I felt very comfortable and safe there. So I felt like out of all the experiences like that I've heard from other people, like this one is a lot more like private, and
Yeah.
you're not around a bunch of people. You are in a room of maybe 4 to 6 people when you do this with this person,
trustworthy
but
people.
I did it with like with my godmother and her boyfriend at the time, and the sister, and I think like in this type of environment is a lot more like you feel a lot more security in that. So that's what I chose. You know, I was recommended to it by my mother.
I feel like doing that with strangers is like the first one that passes out. They're just gonna rob you. Like,
It
yeah,
happens.
I would have done his route instantly. Like, I've seen too much TV, but
Worse than that.
definitely a healer.
Yeah.
Over,
Well, so you're throwing. I heard you throw up and everything. Like,
Yeah.
Do you really want to throw up in front
Yeah,
of 9
it's called
people?
purging.
You know. Yeah.
Purge, you
like
purge.
when you wake up, it's
You
just,
either purge
Throw
one
up out
way
of
or the
both
other.
sides. Yep.
damn, they're both bad. I'm trying to decide on which one would.
How long is the process since they bring you into their house?
You could do like a 2-day one. You could do like a 5-day one. You know, I did like a small, like a short one, like a 2-day one. I did 2 sessions. I think that was enough for me at young 19-year-old kid.
You remember that healer and his wife where they were vegan? They were always vegans? Or it's just...
I don't know if they did that all the time, but I know when they do it, they usually you have to stick with that.
Gotcha.
So going from jiu-jitsu to MMA, how was that transition? I mean, personally, I've watched you develop, and you look super comfortable now.
It's all yours.
But like, how was it going from strictly like competition jiu-jitsu and taking that to MMA?
Well, I've always trained striking, since I was like younger,
Right.
like since I was 15. I basically I trained like San Shao when I was 15. When I joined, thanks.
He'll kill it.
I'd helped so many fighters that were training at the time with me with fight camps when I was just doing jiu-jitsu. Like I'd be the guy that has to take the guy down. So I had that experience, and it wasn't until I guess I was a brown belt 2018 when I had my amateur debut.
Yeah.
And I had all this experience before through years, but just not that as serious. Thank you. And the first few fights were tough. I would say my last amateur fight was tough. I have faced a lot of adversity. Also was at a lightweight, 155. That's a weight class above mine, and that was pretty much like one of like the hardest fights I had. I haven't faced that type of adversity yet again. It'll happen at some point. But like the transition was, it felt like I've been training this for a long time. I've been training martial arts, not just jiu-jitsu.
Right.
But there was a time where I just focused on just jiu-jitsu.
I mean, that's the Mauricio I know. But I mean, I've noticed that you're really putting it together now. I mean, you feel like your jiu-jitsu skills, sport-wise, kind of go down now that you're focusing on everything?
Dude, I haven't competed gi in like almost like 2 years. I remember 2019, I dislocated my elbow escaping an armbar.
Oh, Jesus.
I think they said like that COVID was around in 2019. I remember I had like a big fever, It lasted like about like 5 days in like 2019. Like it was October 2019.
That's about the
And
time.
then I remember I felt good. I felt good in the match, and then it was my first round, and then 2 minutes into the match or a minute in, like all my energy was zapped, and I just kept getting out of arm bars, and then the last like a minute left, the guy went for it. I went to hitchhiker and it went out. So I remember like that was tough, and then I tried again, but I was having more success in no-gi.
Yeah.
So I just kind of stuck with that. I do want to compete in gi again though. Like I just got to get that feel again.
Yeah. So does it like hurt like neglecting it?
No, I coach gi at least 3 to 4 times a week, and I roll still gi. You know, I still watch videos.
Yeah.
I still watch competitions. I like the ones that are more exciting though.
Yeah, of course. Of
Yeah,
course.
but like I still have mad love for it, and I want to do it again at some point.
So tell us about your secret training, where you draw inspiration from certain animes.
Oh, I mean, like I like anime because like you know, it's not that it's an escape, but it's definitely like one of those things where like I like there's a lot of typical, you know, like how do I say, like they always build up a character, and usually like it's a male lead, okay, something I can, you know, relate with, and it's usually someone that starts off as someone that's weaker, and then they, as the story progresses, they, you know, they become stronger, and they become someone that someone could look up to, and that reminds me a lot of me and like my story. There's like 2 animes that like, well, there's more than that, but like I would say like the classics are Dragon Ball Z, and I watched like Dragon Ball, and I watched Goku being a boy to a man.
Yeah.
But I've also watched like Naruto, and I've seen him. Now his son has his own show.
Yep.
And then there's the next one I saw was like, it's called My Hero Academia,
Yeah.
where the kid like goes from not having any powers to like he gets a mentor that entrusts him to teach him, and he gives him guidance, and that reminds me of my story and my coach, you know, and that's something I can resonate with, and that kind of like helps build the morale for what I'm doing, because I've been doing it for so long. And you know, sometimes like you can do something for so long, but you could also like not love it at the same time, you know. And then I just also started watching recently. It's this cool boxing anime. It's called Hajime no Ippo, and like the kid goes from being bullied like I was, and then he starts becoming a champion. So it's like the same route I'm trying to head towards, you know, except just a different sport. But I think like stuff like that, where like the kid goes from being, you know, weak to becoming stronger and empowering himself, and you know, creating a whole you know, personality, and you know, he like, for me, jiu-jitsu has been such a big part of my life for such a long time that, you know, it's like molded like my character as a human, you know, and I wouldn't be who I am without it. Like I couldn't imagine myself without it, and I don't want to. So it's definitely like those things like that like help build me up. It gets me excited again to go back in, because, you know, like I said again, you could be doing it for so long, and you know, you don't love it as much, you know.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I've had points in my career where like I'm not as inspired, I'm not as psyched to come in. But whenever, like for me, like I like learning. So like when I had the opportunity to join an American top team and a room full of killers, because I know the ocean was big, and once I've joined this top team, it feels so awesome to like, you know, be like the little fish in the tank again.
Yeah, you
know?
jumped into Mariana's Trench out there.
Yeah, so I feel like really grateful for that. Like
Yeah.
I can share the mat, and I have something to offer this team, and I'm a part of like another group. So like that's pretty awesome to me.
Yeah. You've also kind of pulled an Adesanya, and you said you were trying some moves from the animes, which is even crazier. You're telling us now you're in a room full of killers, and you're just sliding some anime moves in there. Like, I love it.
But it's real techniques.
Yeah, of course. Of course. But it's beautiful. Like you said, you were using the Dempsey roll. Like, what else did you kind of take from the anime that you applied to your training?
Road work.
Road work?
More road work.
They're going to kill your knees, man.
No, I actually used to run a lot. Like I
Yeah.
was in the ROTC, and I did a little bit of cross country. Like that's like it was a lot for me. Like that was, I think, I surfed when I first started working out. Running was the first, because you can't fake running.
Yeah.
You can't really fake it. You can jog, but to really run and like really go at it, it's a whole different thing. It's like real adversity, because you're against yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
And I used to do that. So like, then with the whole team aspect of like a martial arts team, that's like, it helps like boost the morale. Like a lot of like sometimes you can. Some people are really good at like exercising by themselves. Some people do really well with like feeding off other people. Some people can just get up and go. I'm trying to be more like that.
Do you ever lack motivation to hit the gym and train?
Yeah, it happens. It's normal, I think. I think it can happen to anyone. I'm a human being.
I've asked that question before, and I've gotten no, I'm always passionate. I'm always there. Like, it's something like The Rock would have said. I don't believe him.
Yeah, I don't think that's real. I think like I remember there was a time where I wasn't stoked to come to training. Like not for say American top team like the Coconut Creek one, but I have also felt like that too. But like I could say like I had a fight that was coming up and it got canceled, and then all this like prep and this like me trying to like change my like who I am, like I'm trying to like go through this transformation again, and like all that time wasn't put towards something I was working towards. That could be a little bit of a bummer.
Yeah.
You have expectations, and sometimes when it's not met or you get let down, that could happen. But
yeah, that feeling is awful.
Yeah. You guys ready for round 2?
Wait, what? There's round 2?
I mean, I can eat all day, man.
I can eat all day too.
I know. You gotta feed him.
Listen, I downed half that bowl. I feel so bad. But that's only 4 rolls left.
No, you can eat
I
more,
was
right?
focused on talking, but yeah, I'm good to eat more.
I'm sorry, dude. It was good.
He's a leader.
I know it was good.
Down too. I'm hungry too.
All
All right.
I go all the time, so you guys keep on. We'll bust out a couple more rolls.
All the rolls were equally good. I didn't have a favorite. They were all my favorite.
Well, let me drop you the fan questions. We'll go ahead and like kind of wrap this up, and then we can eat. Honestly, I don't even gotta look. I already read them. I kind of asked you one already. I was asking if you felt your jiu-jitsu diminished. That was one of the questions.
The Peruvian necktie, that's done.
No, well, yeah, Gene, you should be happy now. But someone asked, what's your favorite submission?
The one that works.
That was a very deep answer.
You should have said. You can
No, I
say
know.
that.
Everyone knows like I like getting the back and choking from the back. So like when a guy like does a little homework on me, I've had like visitors come like from out of state
They
and
just
like
try not to let you get the back.
yeah, like they won't let me choke. They're like this. I just switch to something. I don't know, like an arm bar, a triangle, something else. Sometimes like, or I don't know, I'll leg lock you. I'll do something else.
I have one.
Go ahead. Do it now that we already covered it. Throw your.
You ever
Oh, never mind.
fought somebody? Yeah, I know this just came to me. You ever fought somebody in a competition that you didn't like? That you actually like? I can't stand this guy.
No, but there was one time I think I was like 19, or yeah, I was like 19, and I remember I went against this dude, and he went to smother me. He was wearing like a t-shirt or something, and I remember he went. I pulled guard. He smothered me, and then he had little stubbles, and he like dug it into like my eye, and I remember I got pissed. I got out. I was like, I'm gonna get this guy. When I started feeling him do it, I triangled him, and then I actually I went to switch to the arm bar because I was like, nah, I want your arm, and I legit tried to break it. And then I remember and then we stopped, and then he was like, hey, he was a great match, man. And I was like, get off me. I was like, don't touch me. No. I'm like, I was mad. And then he tried talking to me, and then like my guard went down, and I just started being friendly. And now we like talk to each other sometimes. He has his own like band, and he's a black belt now. He teaches and stuff, and he's a lot more technical. And yeah, he's cool people. So just that moment, I was not good.
He probably didn't even think he was doing anything wrong.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, was that probably on purpose, or he
Oh,
probably
100% it was, but it's just some people have that in their game.
It's
People that like to cover your mouth, people like to dig their chin in your eye.
The first time he's a black belt. When I got my blue belt, I remember like rolling, and these people's gis like stunk.
Oh yeah, they hurt.
And they
oh,
did
that
that on
too.
purpose. And the second they just got on me, I was like, I'm not doing this.
Go ahead. Ask your question with the addendum at the end that I forgot to
Which
add.
one was it?
What were you gonna say? Who's your toughest opponent?
Oh,
and
yeah.
And then what? You can't say yourself.
You can't say yourself. And you're
That's why we laughed when we asked what was your favorite submission, and you hit us with the one that works, because they always got an addendum on there. But
No, I mean sometimes I do. So I go for a move and it's not working that day.
Yeah.
You got to be able to flow. You know.
yeah, that was a perfect answer. But we just laughed because he always adds something in there to try to like.
Because I get a lot
Force
of
you into one.
some of the guys say like, my toughest opponent is me. Waking up and I go, no, for real. Like, who's been the toughest
For
opponent?
real.
Like the person that's hit you the hardest, that's almost like gotten you to tap out, and the one's pushed you to your limits.
Like in training or like in competition?
Competition.
Oh, yeah, he knows who he is.
Say it.
So I had a match with him last January. He's probably not gonna even see this, but like I would say like
You canceled those just now.
no, man.
I'm just kidding.
Actually I'll give two.
This is good.
So there's this guy I went against like I would say 5 times, or 5 or 4 times, and he's beaten me every single time, but I beat him the last time. That's like Gianni Grippo.
Yeah.
He's like a 3-time no-gi world champion or 2-time.
Yep.
And like I beat him under a rule set that favors more my style, and I would fight him again, like on whatever other rule set.
That must have felt so good.
Yeah. No, yeah, it was great. I mean, it was more so like there was a lot riding on that for me because that was like the day I fought him, January 14th. It was my brother's birthday, and like I said earlier, like I get a little anxious. So like in my head, I was like, I don't want to lose, and I skipped my brother's birthday. Those are 2 things that suck because my brother, he like means so much to me. He's my little brother, and like I really went after him, and I got the win. But it's not enough, I didn't submit him or anything.
It's still
like
beautiful though, because Gianni's so hyped, man. Like he's one of the.
Good.
Yeah, he was
He's
one of
really
those
good.
like names.
He's really good. And then Keith Krikorian, he tapped me out at ADCC trials, and I was taking too many risks with that one. I think I could have just beat him straight up.
How many matches did you have that day?
That day, he was my 3rd match that day.
Oh. But you did like 9 matches, right? Or
I did
something
like
crazy.
5. I did
Oh,
like
it's 5.
That's still wild. That's a lot.
Well, remember these
within
guys
2
are
days,
all.
within 2 days.
These guys are all fighting to be on like this is like the Olympics of jiu-jitsu. So all these guys are like, it's like a once in a lifetime thing.
I'll give there's 2 guys I lost to at the ADCC Open, and like it was the day before ADCC. It was like in September.
Right.
One of them, I forgot his name, and I could probably look it up on Flow Grappling, but he got me with my own move, but I was like pretty gassed. Like he got my back, he choked me with one, and I only had one arm. He trapped my arm.
Yeah, it's a classic.
And I think I could do it back. I think I was just tired. There was a lot of factors, but I can't give that excuse. But and then DeAndre Corp from Standard Jiu-Jitsu, he's up in Virginia, and he's doing really good. He won no-gi pants, and like that's the guy I would run it back with. He felt like a brick wall.
Damn.
So you're gonna run it back next ADCC?
I'm gonna see. My biggest focus is on like getting another fight because I haven't fought since like November, and then if anything, I'll just do the trials in with the East Coast trials next year, or I have to get my Peruvian passport, but I maybe do Brazil.
That'd
We'll
be
see.
cool. That'd be cool.
Gotta see,
So
There's options.
We've come to the end.
yeah, I think we've come to the end. But so you did have a fight. You were in Peru. The fight got moved, so you didn't fight. Is there a time you expect to maybe have another fight where we can all watch you?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I gotta see the show. Hopefully it's like CFFC again. I liked working with them. They were like super professional. And hopefully like October, like the latest, that's a little up in the air, but I'll definitely post it out, like I'll put it out on social media.
So where can everyone follow you, and is there anything else you want to plug?
Yeah, so like my Instagram is Mauricio Gomez MMA, and I want to give a big shout out to my sponsors, Ishilima. Okay, they're amazing sushi. We just killed all their sushi.
So good.
Just send them a slave for more.
There's Thank You Co Tattoo. High Life Broward. It's a paraphernalia company. They need anything like pipes, anything to clean, cigars. And then I have a new sponsor. It's called King Cobra's MMA Picks. And
Is that Orlando?
oh yeah, Orlando. There you go, Orlando. Orlando Aguilar. Shout out to him. For any of your MMA betting needs, any sports. He did boxing. He did the PFLs, Bellators. So check them out. All right, they'll all be under my profile. So you follow me again, Mauricio Gomez MMA.
We'll put everything there underneath in the
Also
description.
one more. Shout out to Flow and Roll. Okay, they hooked me up with a lot of gear, and Real Times Productions. They helped me record for my website that I have. I have a website, Mauricio Gomez, BJJ.com, and I'll be selling my techniques. It's subscription based, and you'll get pretty much access to all the techniques that I'll be posting out. I'll be posting baking techniques every month, and you guys can check it out. It's all all works, all stuff that I use.
Man, well,
Thanks for your time, guys.
Thank you for your time, and thank you guys for the food.
Oh, you're welcome. It's a pleasure.
We all enjoyed it.
Ishilima.
At Ishilima, you can follow us at Ishilima.
Thank you, Cynthia, for having us over.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, bro.
Oh yes,
Caught it.
I'm leaving that in there.